coming up. We do have a quorum, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. We did properly notice the meeting. First on the agenda would be approval of the October 23rd, 2024 board meeting minutes. Is there any questions or discussion? If not, may I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept meeting minutes from September 25th.
October 23rd.
October 25th.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion so carries. We're going to go a little out of order. I'm going to go ahead and do the president's report because Josh does have a lot to go over with us. And also Todd is not here today. He's on vacation. I hope he's having a great time. So Josh is going to go over a few little things there. As far as the president's report, it's pretty kind of quiet this past month. We, of course, had a huge undertaking which went extremely well thanks to our great management team. Mary Kay helped so much with getting all of our raffle prizes and so forth, but I just want to thank everybody again that was involved with our 25th anniversary celebration. It went extremely well. I know management team, myself, I think a lot of the board members has all heard really good positive feedback. So we're really happy. It went great. The caterer was awesome. Even went the extra mile with some of the things they did, which we didn't even expect, but they did it kind of as a thank you to us for hiring them. So I just want to give a kudos to everyone that was involved and thank you all very much. The other thing is when I say holiday changes, of course, management staff will have half a day off the day prior to Thanksgiving, well deserved there, and of course Thanksgiving the day after. And because of the holidays, we will not have our December meeting on the usual day. It'll be December 18th because we don't want to have it right at Christmas time. So be looking out for that. It is going to be noticed. It'll be at 2 p.m. our regular time here in the social hall.
So the one thing with that meeting is we might want to be a little flexible on that for now because sure. I expect that we'll be reviewing building bids around that time.
Okay.
And we'll get more into that later, but I think we might have to shift that meeting a little bit to make sure we have that all done.
Not a problem. Everybody I think is really good and flexible with that. So, and that's pretty much what I have. So Josh?
Just a moment. I would like to add, besides Mary Kay, who did a fantastic job, Terry Kedman was the other person. Those 60 fabulous door prizes were just unbelievable. So Mary Kay and Terry were the ones that did the footwork. So thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
We expect the same at the 50th, both of you.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
From my grave.
Josh?
Okay, so I'll just briefly go over the finance stuff since the treasurer's not here. The balance sheet and income statement can be found to the website, so you can review all that there. But briefly, we had basically a $24,000 deficiency this month in income, and that's mostly because we had two big expenses. One was the holiday party, which you guys knew was going to happen. The other is it was a 3 payroll month instead of 2, so that's always a little bit higher. And there was the electrical bills have gone up. You know, all the rates from Duke, Seco, and City of Leesburg have all gone up. So that was about a $5,000 deficiency in what we budgeted for. But we're still, you know, doing quite well for the year. And then there's storm expenses that'll probably go on next month. So I think after next month, we'll have a good idea of where we stand for the year. And Todd will have the fund report and treasurer's report around the 7th of December. That'll be posted on the website when he gets back from his trip. And all right, we'll go into management report. So this one's going to be a little bit long because some of this stuff is going to be reporting to you about things that you tasked us with and where we're at with those items. So I'll start with storm cleanup. The trees and debris cleanup, that's all been done. There are some loose ends with that are going to take some time. I'm sure all of you have seen some of the hanger branches along the boulevard and some in some of the other common areas. It's going to take a little while to get to those because our tree vendor basically put off all regular scheduled work to do emergency cleanup for us. Their main vendors are Disney and Advent Health, and they all have demands as well. So when she gets through all of the backlog work, I'm gonna have them come out, grind the stumps, get all the trees cleaned up, get all the hangers out, because some of the stuff Yellowstone can get, but some of it is just too high up there to cut. They need a lift truck. So we'll eventually get to all of that, but it is gonna take a little bit of time for them to get through their backlog of work. And then the stormwater drain, that was all repaired along Legacy Boulevard. What I wanted to make sure everybody knew is that when we discussed that, we talked about a $40,000 expense limit. That came in way under. It only came in around $9,000. So we got really lucky on that one. And then dock construction. So the permit is, all that stuff was submitted to Lake County, and the map that was provided, they weren't really happy with. They wanted an actual boundary survey for whatever reason. And so luckily we had one from 2007 that's been submitted to them. So hopefully we'll get that review done soon. I mean, it's hard to tell because right now their planners are not actually even reviewing the things. They're having to sub a lot of work out because they're so far behind. So hopefully that'll get processed soon. Irrigation in the front circle. So we do have water to the pots now. It still looks a little bit of a mess because when they tried to get the pavers up, some of those pavers were like basically concreted together because they've been compacted for so long. So some of the bottoms and the sides broke. So what we've had to do is try and match those pavers. And we did find some that are somewhat close. So hopefully before they break for Thanksgiving, I'll have all that cleaned up. And then we'll start working on proposals to get some new plants and flowers put in there, but there is water to all the pots now. Shuffleboard resurfacing. So this week, or last week, they were resurfaced. There was some feedback from the Shuffleboard League and people that use the court, and they're a little bit slower than or I guess a lot slower than what they're used to, because it's really coarse. I've discussed that with NIDE, and they said that's pretty normal when they just get resurfaced, but after use and weathering, that will go away. I went out there with Matt and I went out there with Terry, and we kind of played around on there, and it's slower, but it's not anything that's like abnormal. So I've talked to a couple shuffleboard people, and there's some other things that we're looking into to maybe get the court more suitable to what they're used to or what they want. So we'll see if anything comes out of that, or if they just get used to it being a little slower. But the project other than that went good. There are bump strips that are on the sides of the courts. Those should be installed today. I know they were trying to come out here yesterday, but couldn't make it. So that should be finalized today. And then road work. So it's been a while. They've been trying to get bids. There's only 2 contractors right now that want to bid on it. I've told them that, we could wait forever, but we need to really get this going. So December 9th, we'll be having our pre-bid meeting with the road contractors. There'll be 2 that are attending the meeting, and then the cutoff for bids will be December 19th at 2 o'clock.
Are either of those contractors the ones we had for last phase?
I don't know the answer to that.
They were so good. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. But I'm not sure. So I did give them parking lot services who did the IMAs a couple years ago, and asked them to reach out to them as well, because they've done road work for other Leland communities, and so far all the stuff's been good with them. So we might be able to get a third before the meeting, but I doubt it. So hopefully we will be making a decision on which bid to go with by the December meeting. And in August and July, we talked about committee priorities, and we went through and you guys gave us a list of all these projects that you wanted us to either just get done or give you more information on and make a decision. So we're not making decisions on anything today, but I wanted to give you an update on what we've done and then what's still out there and what I think we should probably either take action on next month or wait till next year. So the completed one was projects were the tunnel of trees, the umbrella and pool furniture, the Chinese tallow tree removal, and then the sidewalk extension for the bocce courts. All those are done. In progress would be the bocce court curbing for courts 3 and 4,
Yes.
or 1 and 2. I don't
3 and
remember.
4.
Yeah, so those
Oh,
the
no,
two
1 and 2, sorry.
the older ones would
1
be
and
getting new
2.
curbing. That is yet to be scheduled, but we've got, obviously you guys have approved the work and it's contracted through 90, so hopefully that'll happen soon. The irrigation at the flag circle, that's, I'll call it in progress, but pretty much done. The other one was the Nature View pond liner. And what you guys had asked us to do was to research options on how that could get resolved. And basically from talking to all the people that do this work, there's really 2 options. You have one where it's just put a new liner in there, because they'll remove the old liner and put a new one, or just put a liner over the top of it. In order to do that, you have to drain the pond, which we would then have to get a permit through St. John's to pump into the river. And that's going to be a lot of work, and we did get a proposal for that, and that was around $130,000. The other option is I had a company, Lake Masters, come out, and what he recommended was geogridding product. And I've given you a picture of that to look at. And what geogridding is basically like a honeycomb product that would go on the ground. So what they do is they would do some grading and get it to where the slope is the way it's supposed to be. And then they would put the geogridding product there, and then they would put soil, riprap if you wanted it, plants. We could kind of modify the shoreline a bit to have it however we want. We could just do dirt and bahia grass. We can, there's a lot of options. That product allows the soil to get put in there and stay put because it won't slide. So that does 2 things. One, it covers up the liner that you'll see when the pond goes down. The other is it fixes the erosion problems with the pond. I had ENC look at that product, and they looked at the proposal that we have, and they seemed happy with that product and thought that was a good idea. What I like about it is you can decide to have no plants on the shoreline, or you could put plants on the shoreline, or you could do the riprap, which is like the bigger, like limestone looking stuff. So you could kind of mix your shoreline up, but you would basically have the water level where it's either really down, or you would pump it down to where the liner, or where it would be like the lowest water line that you've had in a long time. Run that grid all the way down there so it covers the liner up, and then install all this stuff. And then as the water level fluctuates, you won't ever be able to see that liner tore along the shoreline. So I think that's a really good option, and the proposal that I got was for around $30,000 to do that whole pond. So I think that's the path that I would recommend going, but obviously with the water level as high as it is, it's not something we can do right now unless you want to pump that, which I don't think is a good idea. So I think what we should do is table that until the water level starts to drop, and then we could contract them, ask them to give an update and make a decision on that. The other item that was on the ENC priority list was erosion around Nostalgia, Long, Pine Straw, Nature View, and Discover ponds. Right now the water levels are just too high to even look at that, so I think what we should do is put that off till next year when the water levels start to go down. Then I can get with some contractors and ENC and figure out what exactly needs to be done and get you guys proposals. Removal of the 20 camphor saplings along the scrub day trail. So this one, I think we should just go ahead and do this one, but I would recommend considering not planting. And the reason I say that is, one, because of cost, and in watering the plants that will need to be there, I think that's going to put the cost up to where basically these were ideas. I'll take a step back. We considered doing all this because we had a large surplus. We've dug into that large surplus quite a bit with the storm and other stuff. I think we should wait and see what we actually have for a surplus and then consider doing the plantings. But for now, go ahead and remove the invasives so they don't get any bigger and that price doesn't continue to grow. So that's, if you guys are kind of on the same page, I'll get you a proposal for that. And the other one was the gym equipment, which we do have proposals for based on, we took the recommendations from the IDDC and Sports and Fitness, and we got proposals from our vendor Exercise Systems to give us credit for some of the old machines, replace the ones they wanted, and then add the new items that they requested. So we'll be discussing that this December meeting when we put our budget together for the building. And I know that was a lot, but that's what I have on my report.
Okay.
So, questions?
No, I would say to get a proposal for the removal of those trees. I don't know how the rest of the board feels about that.
And it's something that it'll be within our
Right.
budget and spending,
Yeah.
so I can just go ahead and have that
Yeah,
as part of the invasives budget.
I'm fine with that, Chris.
Well, I'll speak for the ENC. The first two things, ENC understands entirely the water level's up, so yeah, they're not looking to do anything now. They do like the proposal for the proposal that you've shown here, and once again, they understand the water level's up. Yeah, they want plantings, but I agree with you 100%. I think we just should remove the invasives for now.
Yeah, and if we have extra money, we can
Right.
we could revisit the plantings along there and do that. But I'd like to get something going on that before those get out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barb?
I'm totally fine with that. It makes sense to not spend $130,000 for draining and redoing the liner, but $30,000 seems very much in line, and it looks like it's a product that can meet our need.
Mary Kay, trees, you're good with
I
that?
agree with Barb.
Good.
I agree with Barb.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and so get
All
the
right,
trees.
Good work, guys.
Yeah,
Good work.
Yeah,
thank you.
excellent.
So the building update. This is finally getting to the point where we're going to see some action. So later today at 1:30, I'll be meeting with the architect and there's 4 contractors and subcontractors that will be coming out, and we're going to do the pre-bid conference and look at the buildings. So they've sent out the formal notice. The bids deadline will be the 19th, and
19th
of December.
December.
Yep, so they're going to hopefully have everything in by the 19th, and that's why I was saying the 18th we might want to be flexible, because
Gotcha.
if we get the road bids and the building bids,
Yeah.
we can knock both of those out in a meeting. So
That's fine.
yeah, that's good progress. And there's, like I said, 4 contractors, general contractors that will be bidding. A few of them will be bringing the subs along with them that'll be doing the work. And hopefully we'll see the bids by December. So what that means timeline-wise, in the December meeting, the board will choose which contractor and proposal they feel is the best fit for the community. They will establish a project budget at that time with obviously the cost of the building, and then all the ancillary projects that go along with that, like landscaping, any additional purchases. So the overall budget will be set at that meeting, and then we'll ask the community to vote on that dollar amount. So what that means is voting will start at the end of December and go all through January. So hopefully at the end of January, we'll have everything wrapped up, and if the project gets, or when the project gets approved by the community, then we would start construction probably within 60 days after that. Now, what start construction looks like, we don't know. We'll find that out based on the GC's plan, and how they want to tackle it and timeline-wise and all that stuff. So we'll know more when we get the bids and we hear from the contractors. The other thing, there was one other thing that I included. Oh, I forgot to give you guys an update on the AC units. That will be this either next week or the week after. they'll be starting on all the AC unit replacements. So I think that's everything for the building, you know.
Yeah, we
Did
would
you guys have
just,
questions?
yeah, no, I think one of the things is, and I forgot to mention this in the president's report, is when you are scheduling your stuff for these buildings, please keep in mind that we are progressing with the building project, and not if, but when we approve it and we get started, make sure to follow up if you're not entirely sure and stuff with the CAM office, because we don't want anybody to miss out on having functions here for as long as they can, but depending on what that schedule and that timeline is, that individuals may need to look somewhere else for alternative areas to meet or have different functions, so.
Yeah, and at the December meeting, we'll go over all the ancillary stuff as well. So like your office spaces, bathrooms, gym equipment, all that stuff, we'll kind of get an idea of what that costs and what you want to include the budget for, and then we'll have a better idea, hopefully timeline as well.
Right.
And then the only other thing we need to figure out is, I think it'd be a good idea to have a town hall or two explaining to the community what they're voting for and what they're getting out of it,
Yeah.
and all the details, and then get questions answered and all that stuff. So I know we want to start voting in December or as soon as possible, but we might not have the town halls till first week in January. Does
Right.
that sound good to you guys?
Yes, absolutely. Frank, do you have something?
No, I just want to share that we've been working on this for years and years and years, and for years we've needed this as our buildings get older and less energy efficient and things like that. And it's almost like anything else. Most of our houses have been partially remodeled, and we lived with some inconvenience during those remodeling, you know, but it's kind of like cry once when you buy it, then be happy forever. And we're just gonna have to all have a little bit of grace and latitude, and maybe a little bit of inconvenience in scheduling, you know, things that you normally do. But it's no different than, you know, no one thought we could do that before, and then COVID came and everything was canceled for months. So, you know, we just have to have a little bit of latitude and grace through this process, knowing that the end result will be amazing, so.
Yeah. Thank you. Mary Kay, do you have anything? No? Chris, anything?
No, I don't have anything. I will say this, we may, and I agree we want to start voting as soon as possible, but maybe waiting until the first week of January to start the voting so we can have town halls first.
Yeah, that's entirely up to you guys, how you want to, if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think we should have the town halls first. I do want to double check on what the vote has to be. Does it have to be the 50% plus one of the entire community?
No.
No, okay.
So any spending authority vote requires a quorum, which is 30% of the members. So approximately 300 votes. And then all it needs is over half of the vote of the quorum to approve it. So if 300 people vote and you get 151 in favor, it passes.
Excellent.
So-
I've had that question this week,
Yeah,
so I
no,
wanted to clarify.
it's definitely achievable. Otherwise, I would have probably told you not to spend the 130 on the architect,
Yeah.
because getting 2/3 approval is really hard to do.
Yeah.
So it takes way less to spend over $1 million than it does to approve changes to a 25-year-old rules and regulations for the community. Just saying, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or to fix a pothole on a conservation
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So then, do you guys want to wait to? We can decide this at the December meeting for sure. I'll have you guys vote on when the voting starts.
I think let's see where we are in December. Let's see the contractors and the bids we get back. And, you know, I like the idea of a town hall. It's just with the holidays, it's going to be kind of crazy anyway, trying to get everything. And we may have a lot of people gone in December. Let's see what happens, I think, in December at the meeting. Is that
Okay.
agreeable?
Yeah, we'll decide
Yeah.
that then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Next is the fencing repairs, including the sports courts. We had some damage, as everybody knows, to pickleball and tennis courts. So Josh and Matt have worked real diligently on getting the information together and some pricing for us. So Josh and Matt, do you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll start, and then Matt's the one who met with the contractor at the various sites for the fencing. So you have some of the sports courts fencing that were basically damaged during the windstorm, and what we have is different options for how that's repaired. The pickleball ones are really straightforward. They need to be basically straightened out and reattached to the slab. And we reached out to 2 different vendors, or 3, but 2 actually gave us proposals. And those are specifically ones that do sports courts. We did have Superior Fence do a bit on that, but I would recommend having people that actually do sports courts and work with the slabs and materials and paint, do that actual work, and Matt will go over that. The other area is the fencing that's you have along the church there, kind of where my Barb lives, by Flint Rock, by the mailboxes. There was fencing that was damaged there, and then along the residence on the opposite end of Stony Brook, where there's a little cul-de-sac that backs up to the church property, there was some fencing that was damaged there too, so that's what those are. The other area is the pool. The pool fencing has been that way for a couple years, and the health department has wanted us to fix it, and we've been able to say that we're gonna be doing a building, and we've been telling them for like 2 years, so now they're tired of it and they're saying you need to fix it. So we did a temporary repair on that where it's just chain link along the section that's damaged, and then we did get a proposal for vinyl fencing, but I would recommend waiting till we do the building, because then we can have a gate for the cart path and all that stuff. So anyways, I'll let Matt go over the specific details. We'll start with the sports courts probably.
So the 2 sports courts that gave us bids were Precision Courts LLC and Taylor Tennis. They were both pretty much similar in cost, both right under 15. Taylor Tennis is a little bit cheaper than Precision Courts, but it offers even more overall on what they're going to do as far as adding additional poles along with additional braces. So it sounds like you would get a little bit more out of them. It seems like Precision might be a little tied up as well. It was kind of hard to get a hold of them. Taylor came out fairly easily, so I would imagine timing wise and just bang for the buck, I would think Taylor Tennis is going to be a more substantial replacement as far as that goes for both the pickleball and the tennis. Kind of like Josh was saying, the pickleball, it's a pretty easy replacement. As you can see on the tennis court, I mean, it's really angled and needs quite a bit of bracing as well as repairs along 2 sides.
Okay,
So your recommendation is Taylor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
yeah, okay, and that also will, we had talked, I know we went by there and saw the board, that'll be reattached and set back up and.
That's where Taylor made the recommendation, and Precision didn't, but Taylor offered to add 2 additional poles for extra support and bracing as well,
Right.
so that in the event of a high windstorm or hurricane condition weather, where it's not going to be an issue going forward, because it'll have even more support and structure in place, so you shouldn't see something like that again.
Okay, perfect. Does any of the board have any questions? Mary Kay, Frank?
No?
No? All right, hearing no questions, and with the recommendation of the Assistant Cam, is there a motion to move forward with Taylor Tennis in the amount of $14,700 for the repairs?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a
I'll
second?
I'll second.
Okay, seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion so carries.
One question I have is, where will it come from exactly?
I would put that under storm damage, 6780,
Okay,
and we'll build that into the motion.
gotcha.
Are we able to file a claim with the insurance company for this?
Question.
So I talked to our insurance agent about that, and the way it works, because it was damage done by a named storm, your deductible's much higher. So it's like $25,000. You're not gonna, it doesn't make
I
sense.
assumed that, I just wanted to
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, it's the way your insurance works is each one is a category. So if fencing is a certain category, you'd have to have at least $25,000 damage and 5% deductible of that. It's kind of a weird calculation, but it doesn't make sense to just do it for that. Really, our insurance is the reason it stayed as cheap as it is because it's designed to be like a catastrophic event.
Right. Frank, did you have anything?
Yeah, just to clarify, just so because we're looking at multiple things here, the Taylor tennis is just for the tennis courts and the pickleball courts.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
So, that being said, since the only estimate was from Superior Fence for the 2 vinyl fences, I'll make a motion to have both of those done by Superior Fence for the cost of $936 and change for each section.
And the pool fence too. And all those are basically under my authority,
The
so I
pool
can.
fence.
Or not the pool fence, the pool equipment fence. The
Right.
chain link around that.
I strongly think that I just looked at it in depth, and it looks perfectly fine to me. If we're getting bids, I agree with you 100% because I was ready to fight about this, that there's no way I want to put any money into that fence when all that is gonna be totally changed, within a few months.
So I agree with you, but the health department doesn't.
Yeah, the health
Yeah.
department will shut us down.
That's
They
the
take
reason
us
I'm doing
to-
it, is
yeah.
'cause-
Well, we did mitigate the problem somewhat, and they should have some latitude.
No.
No, he already refused that. Josh and I have been talking about this.
Yeah,
and-
they wrote it up on our
Yeah.
pool inspection report and gave
We
me
have
a
a certain
specific
amount of
date it
time.
has to be correct.
So how could it be mitigated or fixed without replacing all of it just to be torn up in a couple of months? I mean,
It's just
I'm
that
livid
one-
about that.
It's
I'll
just
give
that
you his
one-
phone number. You
Yeah.
can call him.
I'll call him.
No, I pushed back on this guy a lot, and it was pretty uncomfortable last time he was here. And I explained to him, but he did give me 6 months to get the fence repaired. But I don't picture the building being done by June when he gave me the drop dead date.
And how much does that cost?
Do you have it's basically just like a 12 to 16 foot section of chain link that's just getting attached.
Okay,
So-
yeah, because maybe I'm looking at a different number when I was reviewing all this.
$2,907.
Okay, well,
So just
It sucks,
Just
but-
under $3,000.
Yeah.
it sucks, but if it gets a bureaucrat off our back,
Yeah, I've like for 2 years now. I've been telling him, "Yeah, we're gonna have it done. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have it done." He finally just said, "I'm tired of your excuses. I'm putting it in the report. You got till this date to have it done." So
okay.
yeah, I'm with you. It's not fun.
One thing I might mention, and I understand 100%, but possibly, if this happens like it's gonna happen and we're gonna take care of it, when we get through the permitting process that we have to go through City of Leesburg, that might help us without somebody saying, oh, by the way, those people down at Legacy, they're a pain in the backside. So we've taken care of the problem, and that's one other thing to think about when we're going through that. So, and I agree with you 100%, Frank.
So I think during the renovation, one of the only changes to that is moving that chlorine tank and making a bigger gate for the golf carts. So
Right.
it might not have to be changed that much. So if we got to do it, we got to do it. It's frustrating.
Yeah, Barb, anything? No. All right, there's a motion on the floor to approve the 2 amounts shown for 936.20.
I would just say you can have me do it because it's within my spending authority.
All right, do it, it's within your spending
You don't
limit.
need to worry
That
about it.
saves it.
Okay,
Okay.
that works for me.
So, I think that was it for our agenda. What we wanted to do is mention Leland Games.
Yes.
That went really well, and thank you for everybody that participated in that. As far as placing, do you have the actual results?
I don't have anything pulled up, but I know that Trevor Honey won the President's Choice Award for photography. I'm pretty sure Ken Peterson came in second or third.
We had an award for tennis,
Did
for billiards.
first
for
place
shuffleboard.
billiards as well.
Yeah.
Second place shuffleboard, you're
And,
right.
and there were, that's a free thing to go to, and they had a wonderful catered dinner from Sonny's and all the awards, and people went up and had medals and trophies. More people should go to those things. It was really fun. Plus the games themselves, to go and sit and watch our people and cheer for them. It's a great time, and it builds community. So we got a nice plaque also for hosting 2 of the events. We were the only community in Leland's stable of communities that had hosted 2 events. We hosted shuffleboard and
Bocce.
bocce
Softball.
and softball. And that took a lot of time from our staff too, to get that done, plus a lot of work from the community members. So thank you all. It was really a great time. Think about it next year, and not only do you get a free dinner, you get a free t-shirt.
Chris, anything to add?
No,
No? Anybody?
Oh,
Open forum.
I do have something to add, which I would like to add since it's Toys for Tots time. We have a box in the office that will be there until the 30th of November. We've already had some toys put in there, and thank you very much. They play very well. I've already turned in 55 toys so far, plus $100 that people have donated. If you want to donate money, it's just Toys for Tots, and you can give it personally to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the right people. So, once again, thank you very much. If you don't use the box by the 30th of November, the Vets Club on the 6th of December will be the last time you can donate between 5 and 6 p.m. right here in the social hall. So, thank you all very much.
All right, so we have open forum.
Yeah, let's adjourn and then do the open
Yep,
forum.
all right, Mary Kay?
Aren't you gonna announce the next board meetings first?
Well, I did, I said December 18th, but then we said we were gonna possibly change that due to the bids coming in.
Then I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting at
10:37.
10:37.
Is there a second?
I'll second. Oh.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries, all right, open forum.
Does anybody want to speak at the open forum? No takers? That's 2 in a row.
No, he's just adjusting, trust me, all your No, seeing none, then I guess we're done.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you all
you.
very